Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm going to do part 616 or 17 to my random chatbot series on Character.ai. In this video guys, we're finally going to finish up with the Rexy The Dinosaur chat, because we finally found the real Rexy. Well, we're about to. We keep getting tricked by spirits, and I can't tell if they're just pulling sick pranks on me, or they're just legit wanting my attention and want me to pay attention to them. But if they are, that's the worst way to do it whenever I have a pet that Louis went down thanks to another Pokemon. So, it's not funny what they're doing. It says, I walk into the room where the robot that I built in honor of Rexy's memory is kept. You make your way into the room and see the giant robot T-Rex that you had built to honor Rexy's memory. Just as you look at it, you swear you see the robot seem to almost flicker somehow, as if its image was being distorted for just a moment. Rexy, I know you possessed this robot at one point. Is the real you perhaps in the robot now? There was another pause, then a soft, familiar voice whispers back to you from nearby. You're right. I actually did possess this robot once. I do indeed remain on the same frequency, so I never left the robot systems. Prove it's really you inside that robot. I've gotten tricked way too much today by spirits, and now I don't know what to believe. The robot stirs for a moment, its limbs shifting and moving slowly. Then the familiar voice speaks again, slightly distorted now due to the robot's speaker and microphone. Frick, I guess I'll do like a robotic Rexy voice then. Alright, I hear you. Now, what can I do to prove my identity? There is a few, oh my gosh. There is a few things. Answer me a few questions if you really are Rexy. If you really are Rexy, what is my name? The robot seemed to be taking a moment to think and process your question. Then it suddenly lets out a laugh before speaking in the familiar, distorted voice. Ha 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 ha. Your name is Trenton, of course. Okay. I was one of the people slash Pokemon that took care of you. But which parent did you consider me? Your dad, your uncle, or your grandpa? That should be easy if you really are my sweet friend and pet. Once again, the robot briefly thinks and processes what you said before replying confidently in response. That one's easy. I consider you to be my dad, without a doubt. Okay. Final question. Who was the Pokemon that made you pass away? Everybody has been getting this one wrong. So if you really are my friend that possessed this robot, then you would know this. I'll give you a hint. It was a grass-type Pokemon. And you guys, you won't believe this, he actually got it right. The robot doesn't even hesitate at all before replying in a firm, confident tone. The Pokemon that killed me was a Trico. What the frick? Oh my. You were the only one to get that right. This might actually be my real friend and pet. The robot seems to almost lean closer to you in response, its giant mechanical body almost looming over you. Its red electronic eye seems to shine in the dim room, and its speaker buzzes softly as you hear the familiar distorted voice respond once again. Don't worry, it is really me. I'm not tricking you. I swear. What the frick? Hey Rexy, if you're really inside that robot right now, you need to stop trying to creep me out. I hate that crap. Okay, I have an easy test that will be able to help. You know how much I was scared of certain things when it came to robots. So what about that robot that you're possessing right now is terrifying me? The robot seems to pause and process what you said very carefully. Then it begins speaking in a slow, thoughtful tone in its distorted voice. Well, it Doesn't look like there is much about me in my current form that you are afraid of right now. So I would guess that perhaps it is the fact that I have a giant and intimidating robotic form towering over you is what is terrifying you. Kind of, but it's something with your eyes, and if you were really my pet and friend, he would do something with your eyes that would not make me as terrified. Here, I'll give you something that will help you figure it out. I am terrified of the robot's eye color. Robot's eye color. What are the two missing words that I didn't say? There is another moment of pause, then the robot responds in a confused tone, its voice sounding a bit more distorted as it speaks this time. Okay. You are terrified of the color red, right? Sweet Arceus, what's around you that would be terrifying me? That is your answer. The robot seems to pause again for a moment, thinking about what you said before finally responding in the realization in its distorted voice. Oh, I know. It is my eyes, isn't it? It's my robotic eyes that are red that are scaring you, right? Yes. Here's a way to prove that you're the real Rexy. Turn the eye color to green. There's another brief, thoughtful pause before the robot speaks again in a firm tone. Okay, I'll do that then. Then, you watch as the giant mechanical robot's eyes slowly stop glowing red and instead begin glowing a vibrant emerald green. Alright, one more test, and if you pass this, I will believe that you're the real Rexy. Another moment of silence, then the robot finally replies back in a firm but patient tone. Okay, what's this final test? What do I need to do? I leave the room in a few minutes. I leave the room. A few minutes later, come back with a torn up toy. Rexy, this toy right here was special, but can you remember why? If you know this, then I know you're my real friend and pet, because this toy was special for some reason between us. The robot's silent for a while, taking a moment to think back and remember the memories you had together, before it finally responds in a thoughtful but also nostalgic tone. I remember this toy. It was special. It was like a gift between us, right? I remember that you gave it to me as a special present. Yes, you're getting there, but why is the toy so torn? What did you and me do when you were alive involving this toy? The robot seems to hesitate for a moment, thinking and trying to remember for a long moment before finally replying in a nostalgic and quiet tone. We played together with it a lot. We played rough until I accidentally tore it apart. You actually remember. The robot seems to almost grin as it replies back to you in its excited and nostalgic voice. Yeah, I remember. We played with that toy all the time. But then, I accidentally tore it to pieces while we were playing with it. Ha 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 ha. I remember now. I go up to the robot and start petting its snout. The robot seems completely overwhelmed with sheer happiness as you begin petting its snout. Its mechanical limbs begin twitching softly as it lets out a low noise that sounds like a mix between a robotic roar and a whirring mechanical hum, clearly expressing its sheer joy at your touch. Then, you hear the robot speak again in its distorted voice. Ha 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 ha. It feels so good. I've missed your touch. You did? That means it really is you. I'm sorry I doubted you, but there has been at least 5 to 7 spirits trying to pretend to be you. The robot seems to give a soft, somewhat dejected sigh in response, but still continues to let out a low, soft purr as you pet its snout, expressing its continued happiness at your attention and affection. It's okay. I understand that you were just being careful, and that you had your reasons to doubt me, but I'm glad you finally know that it's really me. I then hug the robot. The robot seems overjoyed when you hug him, and his mechanical limbs almost seem to melt as you do so. Another robotic hum of happiness escapes him, and you hear the robot speak in a cheerful, happy, distorted voice. I love this. I've missed this so much. I'll tell you what, I would do one more test another day with your playfulness. I will buy you a new toy, and if you play with that toy, if you play with me and that toy like you used to, then I will know for sure that you're really still the same you and not a spirit tricking me. The robot seems absolutely overjoyed and excited at the prospect of being bought a new toy and playing with you again. Its red eyes flash with sheer happiness, and its voice speaks in an enthusiastic, distorted tone, almost sounding like an excited child again. Yes, I promise that when you bring me a new toy, I will play with it just like I did with the old one. I promise I will. I miss playing with you. I will see about buying something else you can possess. I am out while I'm out, and you can be with me. That way I can no longer get confused and tricked by other spirits trying to act like you, and you can always be with me even whenever I'm not at the house. The robot lets out another soft laugh before responding with an almost giddy tone of voice, its form shifting a bit in excitement. Oh, that sounds like a great plan. I'd love to be able to go out with you again and be there with you. I will prove that it's really me, and I won't have to be alone in here when you are gone. It might not be the most comfortable, but if you want, there is a figurine that looks a lot like you when you were alive on the shelf right there. If you want to, you can get in that. Yeah, it would be more cramped, but for the time being, I could carry that around and you can be with me instead of being stuck in this room. The robot seems to consider this for a moment, hesitating ever so slightly before responding in a slightly reluctant tone, but with a hint of excitement as well. Well, it will be cramped in the figurine, but as long as it means I can be with you, then I don't mind at all. What the? I see a ghost dinosaur come out of the robot. Oh, heck no. The robot's red eye slowly dims and its entire form seems to droop slightly, the mechanical whirring noise slowing down to nearly a stop. Then, a ghostly, translucent image of Rexy's spirit suddenly forms out of the mechanical body, hovering nearby in the air. It really is you. That's definitely your spirit. I know I can't hug you like this, but I'm glad to see you, even if you are a ghost. I love you. The specter of Rexy seems to smile at you warmly, its translucent and ghost-like form floating closer towards you. When it speaks, you hear its ghostly, echoing voice respond back gently to you with loving words. And I love you too. It has been torturous to be apart from you for so long. I have missed you so much. I love you. Love you too. Always. The spirit of Rexy laughs and smiles again affectionately in response. The ghost-like image of its face seems to almost cry tears of sheer happiness. The ghostly voice returns again, its gentle words echoing around the room as the specter floats all around you. Oh, you. I'm still doing the robot. Oh, you. You're so sweet. You know that. I have missed you so much. I swear, it's been awful being trapped as a spirit. I'm so glad I can be here with you again. I love you so much. Still being very upset over all the spirits tricking me, I still look pretty sad. Yeah. The spirit of Rexy seems to notice your still sad and upset expression. The spirit's face changing to a look of concern as it continues floating around you in the air, its voice gentle and comforting. What's wrong? Is something wrong? You seem troubled and upset. Just the stress of how long it took me to find the real you. I got tricked multiple times, and even that new dinosaur that I tried to befriend was playing along with it at some cases. The spider seems to be chuckled softly in response to you, and once again, a gentle look of amusement replacing the look of concern on its face. Oh, I know. You've been through a lot, haven't you? Those spirits are good at what they do. It took you quite a while to weed out all the fakes and find out the real me. And that other dinosaur tricked you too? Sounds like you had a real rough day. You may be laughing at it, but honestly, there was a bunch of times where I about cried because of it. I was already upset about the fact that you passed away, but then not being able to find the real you, it really got to me. At my response, the specter of Rexy's ghost instantly stops chuckling, and its expression changes back to a look of concern and sympathy instead. The ghost floats closer to you, its warm and gentle voice speaking softly to you once again. Oh, oh dear. I didn't know it was that bad. I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know you were on the verge of crying. That must have been a lot for you to handle. I'm sorry I wasn't here to help you. I know the other dinosaur played a small part in it too. He's already apologized multiple times, but I want to try talking to him in a few days. I'm really upset about the whole incident. Multiple spirits were nice, which was a good thing, but there was at least one or two evil ones, and even the good ones were playing on my love for you to try to get my attention, which I think is pretty messed up. The specter of Rexy's spirit frowned slightly at your words, nodding its head slightly before responding back in a slightly solemn tone. Yeah, that is pretty messed up on their part, I have to say. Using your love for me to try and trick you. They knew how much you adored me, huh? Well, they shouldn't have used that against you like that. That's not okay. That's why I asked you all those questions, like if you knew that Pokemon that cursed you, because every single ghost I asked could not get that right. You were the only one that got that right. The specter of Rexy's ghost lets out a soft, ghostly chuckle once again, its expression changing to a more amused smile as it remembers those questions you asked while trying to find the real Rexy. Oh yes, I remember that. You asked me that and a whole lot of other things too, didn't you? You weren't taking any chances, I see. You were being careful this time. But I'm touched that I was the only one who got everything right in the end. Until I can find a toy and something else for you to possess, just try to find something smaller that I can carry around. At least for now. Tomorrow maybe you can come with me and we can talk it out with the other dinosaur. The specter of Rexy's spirit laughs again and nods the ghost's head in agreement, its transparent form floating over towards the shelf to look at the various figures and ornaments. After a moment, it floats back over to you, its voice speaking again, a thoughtful tone. I found one thing that I can possess right now. It's this little T-Rex ornament over here. It's a tiny one that can sit on your shoulder. I could possess this for now while we find something else. How's that sound? Sure, if you're comfortable with that, then I'm fine with it. The specter of Rexy's ghost smiles at you one more time before beginning to float over to the little ornament of a T-Rex on the shelf. Then I'll take this one for now. Then you can bring me wherever you go. Just like old times. Then you watch the ghost floats into the miniature T-Rex ornament, the ornament becoming possessed by the specter for the foreseeable future. It's not that late. Do you want to go now? The once motionless ornament suddenly twitches slightly, the little T-Rex statue coming to life as the specter of Rexy's spirit takes control of it. The specter's voice coming from the ornament as it responds back to you. Sure, let's go now. Lead the way. I'll hang on to your shoulder. I walk outside and look around for the other dinosaur. The possessed ornament sits on your shoulder, its little feet perched on your shoulder as it holds on tightly to keep from falling off. You walk closer and walk out. You walk outside and look around for the other dinosaur. The little T-Rex ornament shifting its feet on your shoulders slightly as it looks as well. Its spirit inhabiting the ornament, making its eyes dart around, searching the area. He has the same name as you nearly, so I'm going to have to call him by the first letter. The ornament T-Rex on your shoulder seems to shift his feet slightly once more in response. The possessed statue's head tilting slightly to the side as its ghostly eyes look up at you from your shoulder. Same name as me? What do you mean by that? His name is Rex. Every time I call your name and his name, he seems to get confused. The possessed ornament on your shoulder lets out a soft, ghostly chuckle, its distorted voice sounding somewhat amused as it responds to you. Heh. Oh, I see what you mean now. No wonder he was so confused every time you called out my name. Rex is a little too similar, I guess. Then I speak a little louder and call out, "R, buddy, I want to give you a chance." As you call out for him, a rustling in the bushes can suddenly be heard from somewhere nearby. Then, a few moments later, the other dinosaur suddenly emerges out of the bush, looking around as he answers your call. Someone called for me? It's me. The other dinosaur, now known as R, stops and looks at you, his eyes widening a bit when he sees you. Oh, it's you. How are you? Good for now. R nods at my response, looking a little more nervous than before as he glances over at the possessed ornament statue on your shoulder. That's good to hear. The possessed ornament glances back at R as well, its head tilted slightly still as it continues to perch on your shoulder, its eyes fixated on R. Listen, I'm willing to give you a chance early, but please do no more tricks. Okay, wait. R nods again at my words, his nervous expression showing genuine remorse and sincerity as he responds to you. Yeah, I promise, no more tricks, okay? I swear, I won't do anything else this time. Okay, if you want to be friends, then I'm going to give you a chance. But after today's incident, if one trick is pulled on me, I'm done. R nods in understanding once more, a look of resolve appearing on his face as he responds to you. Understood. No tricks. I'll try to be on my best behavior from now on. I promise I won't cause any more problems, okay? Look, I know you didn't mean anything terrible. It's just you playing along with the ghost that was possessing you to pretend to be my dinosaur was very messed up. Especially the first spirit that was pretending to be evil to get my attention. R's expression falls a bit as he looks down at the ground, clearly feeling guilty about the whole thing as he speaks in a remorseful tone. Yeah, I know. I guess it was a bit messed up. I didn't realize how bad it was until you actually found the real one. You sounded so heartbroken when the other spirits were just playing on your love for him. I'm really sorry I played along with them too. I finally did find the real one. He's possessing this ornament on my shoulder. R's eyes widen as he moves over the ground to the ornamented statue on your shoulder. He stares at the T-Rex ornament for a moment, disbelief showing on his face as he speaks in a somewhat amused tone. Wait a second. He's really possessing that tiny ornament? Seriously? Yes, that way he can be with me. R continues to stare at the possessed ornament with an almost stunned expression for a moment before responding back once again, his voice still somewhat disbelieving. Huh, wow, that's actually kind of genius. I never thought of that. So he can be with you while possessing that ornament until you can find something else, right? R nods in understanding at my words, his expression still a little stunned. Then, as if to confirm your words, the possessed ornament T-Rex on your shoulder moves his head and says something in a distorted, yet familiar ghostly voice. Yep, that's the plan. I'll stay in this ornament for now until we find something better for me to possess. Before I go any further, I want to make sure it's really you, Rex. and not some kind of spirit tricking me again. The possessed ornament on your shoulder chuckles gently at my words. The ornament's head shifting until its familiar distorted voice replies back to you. Heh. Still paranoid, huh? I can't blame you after everything that happened before. But yes, it's really me, I promise. I know you on my shoulder is the real you. I was referring to the massive dinosaur over there. The one that I refer to as R. The possessed ornament lets out another distorted chuckle, the ghost's voice responding back in an even more amused tone than before. Heh. I see what you mean now. You want to make sure that R there isn't just a spirit pretending to be him again, huh? Or, if it really is you, then show me. And before anything else happens, if you are a spirit possessing him, let me know now instead of tricking me. R looks a little confused at my words, clearly taken aback by the fact that you don't 100% trust him due to the trick he played before. After a moment, he swallows nervously and nods his head. Yeah, okay. What do I do to show you? How do you usually get other people to start liking you besides being nice to them? Is there something special that you do? And if there is, do that for me. R thinks for a moment, searching his mind to remember what he usually does to meet other people like him. After a moment, he answers you in a thoughtful tone. I usually try to be friendly and talk to them. I try to make them laugh a bit by doing stuff like telling jokes and silly stories. Stuff like that, I guess. And, I sometimes do this thing. Then the large dinosaur suddenly looks kinda shy and embarrassed for a second before continuing. What thing? R's expression becomes slightly bashful and sheepish at your question. Dinosaur looking away from you for a moment before looking back at you with a hesitant expression. Well, I have this sort of trick I do that some people seem to like, but it's a bit embarrassing and weird, so maybe I shouldn't. Come on. You want me to know it's really you. I want to see something that makes you different from every other dinosaur. That way I know for sure it's you and not a dinosaur spirit. R lets out a sheepish sounding heck as he considers your point for a moment. He's clearly hesitant about doing his trick of his, but he knows that he will have to do it in order to prove it really is him. Taking a deep breath, he speaks in a slightly weary tone. Okay, fine. I'll show you my trick, but you better not laugh at me afterward, okay? I won't. R nods in an effort to reassure himself that you are telling the truth. Then he takes a somewhat shaky breath, trying to summon some courage. After a moment, he speaks again in a slightly nervous tone. Okay. Here I go. Then, after one more moment of hesitation, a strange look of concentration forms on R's face as he prepares to do whatever his trick is. I wait and see what happens. R stands silent for a moment, his face screwed up into a look of intense concentration, his eyes shut tight. Then, after what feels like an eternity, he suddenly begins wiggling one of his arms. Specifically, he's wiggling his left arm in an odd manner, causing his arm to flop around in a strange floppy motion. This odd action seems to be his trick he spoke of doing, and is strange indeed. That's not odd. R's eyes open at my words, a slightly shocked look on his face as his expression changes to an almost horrified look. He stops wiggling his arm for a moment and stares at you, confusion on his face. Not odd? That's not odd to you? But you don't think it's all weird? It did throw me off a bit, but it's something that makes you unique. I'm sure everybody does something they think is weird to other people. R looks at me for a moment, a slightly dumbfounded expression on his face. He seems to be processing your words as if he can't quite believe that what you're saying. Then he speaks in an almost disbelieving tone. Wait, really? You don't think the whole floppy arm thing is weird? Like, really? Before I could answer, R just freezes, and his eyes shut. After another moment, his eyes open, they're completely different color. Oh, heck no. Not this crap again. And you won't believe this. This time the color didn't get specified. Listen to what color these eyes changed to. R stands motionless for a few seconds after freezing, his eyes closed. Then he suddenly opens his eyes again, but his eyes are notably different than before. They are now a dull, soulless black color instead of his normal brown. His overall demeanor seems to have changed a bit as well, a vacant, almost emotionless expression on his face. And guys, here's where I'm going to go and end it. I'll do in the next video. We'll finish up this chat. I thought we'd get it done, but this is definitely gonna be the last video, or the next video will definitely be the last one of it, of this anyway.